Our next talk comes from T20 Daniel Lynch.
I'm staring down at the cold concrete floor, and I look up to the white cinder block wall. I'm wearing blue and yellow plaid shorts, and my pants are sagging because I don't have a belt because they took it from me. There are 10 other men in the room, sitting, standing, pacing about, waiting. It's 2008, and I'm in Blacksburg, Virginia, sitting in the drunk tank. One of the guys that's mumbling to himself walks over to the toilet in the corner and begins to take a piss. But before he finishes, he loses consciousness and hits the floor. And I stop and think to myself, how the fuck did I get here? It's 4 years earlier, and I'm 16 years old. I'm sitting in my dimly lit bedroom in the suburban Atlanta house that I grew up in. I'm tired of being socially awkward. I feel as if everyone else in life has an instruction manual on how to live their lives, but I don't. My social network consists of the fellow gamers that I talk to on Xbox Live. I line up 7 shot glasses on my chest-high dresser and fill them up with cheap vodka. I take the first shot and it tastes like shit. I take the second shot and my throat starts to burn. I take the third shot and it doesn't taste like shit because my taste buds are numb by now and it just tastes like water. I take the fourth shot, and the burning in my throat starts to turn into warmth all over my body. I take the 5th shot. My blood starts to pump, and my heart rate spikes. I take the 6th shot. I'm feeling okay about life now. And I take the 7th shot, and I feel fucking invincible. For the first time in my life, I feel completely at ease and comfortable in my own skin and sociable. I'm so excited that I run across the hall to my sister's room and I kick open the door and I announce to her, Shannon, I just took 7 shots and I feel incredible. She really didn't know what to make of that. She was sitting on the phone with her boyfriend. No matter though, I had found the missing link. So began my love affair with alcohol. 2 years later, and I'm a senior in high school. My life embodies the epitome of the American high school drinking culture. I'm not anxious anymore. I have my superpower that's activated by drinking. I walk into a basement party filled with guys and girls who I call my friends. I socialize all night and play drinking games. I'm king of the party. At first it was fun, then it was fun with consequences, then it was just consequences. It's 2007, and I'm in college at Virginia Tech. I joined a drinking fraternity called Pi Kappa Phi to surround myself with other people who also like to activate their superpowers like me through drinking. I'm cruising down Interstate 81 at over 100 miles an hour in my Ford Explorer. Although I only have 4 seatbelts, there are 8 people in my car. The darkness in my rearview mirror erupts with blue flashing lights. I roll down my window to be greeted by a mustached cop, shining his flashlight in my face, and he had a big horseshoe dip in his bottom lip. He gives me a field sobriety test, and I fail. By some sort of a miracle, I'm able to talk this cop out of giving me a DUI. And instead, he hands me a big stack of tickets: underage possession of alcohol by consumption, reckless driving, speeding. And later that month, my perpetual buzz is killed when I have to drain all my savings to pay off those tickets in court. At first it was fun, then it was fun with consequences, then it was just consequences. It's 2008, and I'm 20 years old. My fraternity hosts an all-day mini music festival at a large outdoor venue in the center of town. By the time night falls, I've had over 12 drinks and just as many Xanax. You see, I needed more and more drugs and alcohol to activate my superpower, and even then, it was extremely short-lived. The concert ended, and my friend and I departed on the sidewalk into the warm night. All of a sudden, I experienced a fit of rage, and I started shouting, "Fuck the world," at the top of my lungs, and kicking over trash cans and kicking over newspaper stands, and it was oddly satisfying. All of a sudden, a short, burly man in a leather jacket with a high and tight haircut walks up to me, and he asks me, "Son, why are you being so belligerent?" I reply, "None of your business." Just then, he pulls out his police badge from inside his leather jacket. Now, at that moment, I knew I had a choice. If I was arrested, the charade would be over. My parents would find out, I would probably get kicked out of school, and I might be separated from the one thing in this world that made me feel okay: alcohol. So I turned and I ran. Now, in my mind, I was a wild horse crossing the grassy knolls of the American West. But in reality, I was a maimed corgi stumbling across the street. My nose broke as the cop tackled me and I hit the pavement. There was blood everywhere, and he threw the handcuffs on. He was extremely angry. Apparently, they don't like it when you run. I spent that night in the drunk tank. At first, it was fun. Then it was fun with consequences. Then it was just consequences. Every other morning, I wake up in a random spot, like a parking lot or a hallway or someone else's room. I'm missing my cell phone or my wallet or my keys or all three of them. I rarely make it to class or submit any of my assignments. I feel that I'm a victim of circumstance and that life has dealt me a shitty hand. It's a horrifying feeling when I realize that I can't fucking stop. It's a horrifying feeling when I realize that my life is in the hands of a force which is much greater than me and wishes me harm. It's a horrifying feeling when I realize that each and every action I take is self-destructive. I go back home to Georgia and I enlist myself in treatment. I just want the hurricane in my life to stop. In AA, they make us get a sponsor to attend meetings with us and take us through the 12 steps. So after a meeting, I went out to the sidewalk and I looked across the bodies shrouded in a cloud of cigarette smoke looking for a sponsor. And then I saw him. He had jet black hair and a ghost white complexion. He was wearing a black Slayer t-shirt. He had cargo shorts and tube socks, and he was 6'2" and all of about 140 pounds. His name was Grant, and he used to do meth and go to death metal shows, and now he just went to death metal shows. I approached him, and I asked this man to be my sponsor. He took a long drag of his Camel Light cigarette, and as he exhaled, he asked me, "Are you 100% done with drugs and alcohol? Are you ready to do this thing?" And I stopped and I thought to myself, I'm kicked out of school, I have legal trouble, I'm depressed, and I'm a complete dick. So I replied, "Fuck yeah, man, let's do it." Today I'm 31 and I've been sober for 11 years. But what does that look like? It's the ability to be 100% present. It's waking up in the morning and having that first sip of coffee while reading Starship Troopers and eating dry cereal by the handful from the box. Big handfuls. It's having a good relationship with my girlfriend and hiking with her in the Swiss Alps. It's scoring a goal in tripod. It's being able to go to meetings with former crackheads, junkies, and homeless people and realizing how privileged and lucky I am. Being in recovery has given me many gifts, the first of which is probably delayed gratification and the value in doing the next right thing one day at a time. When I first got sober, I was at a community college and it was not good. And I was able to do the next thing one day at a time, and by some sort of a miracle, I've gotten here. Secondly, I have the ability to be comfortable in my own skin. I've found that there is no missing link. Sometimes I feel crappy and I just have to let that pass, and that's okay. I do feel there is a component of the MBA experience that I'm missing out on by not being able to drink. I do think alcohol is a social lubricant. I can't get smashed at a Rather party, and that's the price I pay to be here, and that's okay. Lastly, each day I stay sober is a win. It doesn't matter if I didn't get the internship, or I screwed up the panda problem, or I care what someone thinks of me, which isn't my business anyway. Each and every day is a win. Sobriety brought me something much better than fun. It brought me freedom. My name is Daniel Lynch, and I'm an alcoholic.